Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's Laurel. Today is Saturday, July 1st, 1st of July. This is FLOSSTUBE number 19. If you are returning back to me, I appreciate you. Glad to have you back. If you are brand new to my channel, just a quick little synopsis of what you'll see. We're going to have cross stitch in the beginning, quilting at the end. Sometimes there's more of one than the other, but I do try to keep them separate in case there's one that you're not interested in. So, quick little life update. Since I've seen you in the last 2 weeks, not a lot has happened, which is great. It's how we like it. I've had a rough couple days. I don't know what is going on. Like, there is nothing bad going on in my world. Work is good. Church is good. Family's good. Crafting's good. But I'm just miserable the last couple days. I don't know what's wrong with me. So we'll see. Maybe today will be a turn, and I don't know. I'm 50, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Later today, my daughter will be over for her birthday dinner. Her birthday was actually last weekend, but she was on her duty weekend for Air Force Reserves, so we didn't get to celebrate last weekend. So she gave me her menu for what she wanted for her birthday dinner. So she'll be over this evening. My son and his girlfriend will come over and eat with us, and we'll just have a good time. So it should be a good evening. So when I get done here, I'm gonna attempt to make a pound cake. And I make pound cakes all the time, but they're a little time consuming, so I hope I can squeeze that in. It is kind of early. It's like 10:15. I've already been up, done 2 loads of laundry. I've been to the grocery store, got all my stuff together, got the dogs taken care of, put up. So I feel like I've done a lot so far this morning. So we'll see if my energy keeps up or if I just crash when I'm done. But should get the pound cake in the oven, have a little bit of time. I need to straighten up a little bit. And then hopefully I might get a little bit of sewing time in, because normally Thursday night is my sewing night, and I didn't get any sewing in Thursday night because my son was he has a second job. He works his full-time job, and then in the evenings, him and my brother-in-law and my father-in-law have a little mechanic business that they do in the evenings. So he goes over there and works. So my son was gone. My husband has been working crazy, ridiculous hours. So he got stuck at work with a problem. So the girls, my little pups, they just wanted no part of me sewing. They wanted some attention. So we'll see. If I have the time, if I get my chores done in time before everybody comes over for dinner and I have some time, I'm going to put the pups down for a nap and have a little time for me. We do still have my daughter's puppy. We're puppy sitting. I say puppy. She's 7 years old, but she's tiny. We are still watching her. We'll have her till later on in the week. My daughter has a little beach trip playing with some friends. So we'll get to keep the baby a little bit longer before we have to get her back. So that's all my babbling of my life. That's where I am. I do want to apologize. I watched the last video back, and I had the sniffles or something, and all you heard was sniff, 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 and then I repeated myself a couple times. I don't know what, again, is going on with me. Right now, I chalk everything in my life up that is weird or strange to, I'm 50, and that just is my excuse for everything. So if I repeat myself or say something crazy wrong or ridiculous, just shake your head, say she's 50, it's okay. All right, so what have I been working on? Let me just go through. I've been a little all over the place, just like I always am. Nothing has changed there. So I'll show you what I have touched in the last 2 weeks. Nothing has big, giant, significant progress, but all of them have a little bit of progress. And I was actually debating about doing a mid-year whip parade. I know several people have done that. Chris the Camping Stitcher posted hers the other day. Oh, it was so good. If you haven't watched that, go watch her. It was really, really good. And I know a couple other people have. I'm a little bit behind on my floss tubes. But I do know Sweetwater Stitcher put a little video at the end of her last video that had a little video from StitchCon that showed some Flosstubers that gave their channel names and everything. So I've got a couple of those added to my list to try to watch those. But anyway, I went down a rabbit hole there. But go watch that if you are looking for some new FlosStube personalities. But I've seen several doing the whip parades, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do a little mini whip parade. So I went back and watched my original whip parade, which I did when I started, which was like end of October, beginning of November, somewhere in that time frame. And I had 24 whips. 6 are done, 6 I've touched, 12 haven't been touched at all. Yeah. Or maybe I touched 12 and 6. Anyway, there's a significant amount that I have not touched. So I'm going to wait and just do my regular end of the year, beginning of the year whip parade when that time rolls around. This is what I've been working on this week. Now I'm going to start with something sad. I have messed up, and I don't want to say I'm distraught about it because that sounds so dramatic, but I'm a little mad. This is my Let Love Rain that I love. I talked about this. It's gorgeous, beautiful. These are my threads for it. Love, love, love those colors. There's my little floss ring bling. I did make some of these. Teresa, Garden Goose Stitcher, talked about how she went to a little mini retreat and they did some of these. And I was like, I've done some of those. I hadn't shown you in my videos, so I'll try to show you my ring bling as we go through. But anyway, I got this out, and again, it's slow progress. It's a big piece. It's hard to, kind of manage, but I love it. I mean, I don't have a deadline or anything for this. No set time frame, but I was working on it the other day. I came down here to start this flower, and when I came across, I got to this end, and I always try to do like landmark stitching and, count, okay, is this now far away? Is this the right number? Is this the right number? Does this line up right? Well, this didn't line up right. And I was like, how can that not line up right? So you have that moment where you count and you count and you count and you recount. I don't even understand what's wrong. This leaf right here is off a stitch, which is what I based the beginning of my letter off of. And then I came across and I based these letters off where this was. So all of my letters are off one, which had that been at the end of the stitch, I would have just been like, it's fine, I'm not worried about it. But it's really irritated me. So I think I'm just gonna not mess with it right now. I think I'm just gonna come down and continue to stitch my flowers and some other pieces and just decide later if I want to rip that out or just fudge it. I mean, it's one stitch. Nobody will see it, but because it's bothering me so bad, I don't know how I feel about it. So we'll see. I will let you know when I reach that point if I'm going to be a big girl and take it out, or if I'm going to be a big girl and just work it into the chart. The next piece, well, not the next, these aren't in any kind of order, but I did also work on my other Whip Go piece, which is Christmas boxes by, I think it's Pine Needle Designs. I should have looked it up, and I'm sorry. I can't show you the chart because it's just the pattern. But this was, and I misspoke in the last video. I said that you got these once a month. You got them like, it was at every day, or maybe I said once a week, but it was like every day you got one, counting up to Christmas that year. So my Whip Go pieces, I only have them marked to do an hour, and that's just so I can see if I still love the piece. So I finished this block, which is the little chimney, and I finished this block, which is little Hershey Kiss candy canes and some candy pieces. So this had a lot done. This only had a little bit done. So it's maybe a little over an hour. Now, do I love it? Not necessarily, but I like it enough and I have enough done on it that I'm not going to abandon it. It's not, if this was something that was going on right now, I probably wouldn't join it because my taste has changed a little bit. But it'll be cute when it's done. And I'm just pulling colors out of my stash. It was, I don't know for what reason I didn't just buy the colors that were called for. I think I thought because it was just, you know, little stitching that it would be easy to pull my own colors. Not really. And then I worked on my focus piece, which is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. I had wanted to finish this pumpkin and all the little doodads right here. I didn't quite make it because I kind of veered off course a little bit. I am using the called for DMCs, and this is it's a little glary, but it's like a little fall forest scene. So those are my colors. I did get my pumpkin finished, but not necessarily all the little doodad things. So my pumpkin is done. I did one more of the little stars, and then I wanted to come down and see because I was afraid it was going to be tight for my wording across the bottom, but it's going to fit. So I'm okay with that. And I do love those pumpkins. And I am going to, I think later in the fall, I want to stitch one of these pumpkins. I don't know which one yet, in white and one in turquoise, maybe for a dough bowl or something. Just have a little bit of variety, because I love a white pumpkin and a turquoise pumpkin. Next, I worked on White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. This was my June cross-stitch camp piece that Sherry with Colorado Cross-Stitcher is hosting. And I picked my piece not because I thought I would finish it, but I literally, I took her challenge and said, what is it that I have in my like immediate radar stitch that has a bird in it that I can use as an excuse to start this, because it qualifies for stitch camp. So this qualified because it does have 2 birds in it. I am using the called for DMCs, and I don't have them on a floss ring because I ran out of the rings. I have all kinds of little pretty pieces, but I'm out of rings. But this is where I am. Well, sorry, kind of a mess. This is where I am. I wanted to get one of the wings stitched in just to kind of have a feel for how big it was going to wind up being. I think since I saw you last, I finished this. Obviously, I stitched all this. I did this little symbol, and I did part of this one. It has some of the dark green that goes around it. So I think it's pretty. It's come along really nice. It is, I do wish this had been at least a 28 count. The 25, I like stitching on 25. It goes fast. But I did want it to be just a smidge smaller. But once it's done and framed, it'll be fine. And I talked, you know, sometimes it's just nice to have a bigger piece. Everything doesn't have to be teeny tiny. I know people are kind of drawn a little bit to the higher counts, but I like kind of a variety in my stitching. I don't want everything to be on the same count of fabric. I say that now, and watch like next video I'll be like, okay, I'm getting rid of all my fabric and I'm only doing this one count. Because apparently I just say something on here and it's a lie. It's lies. Next is my Broad Stripes and Bright Stars by Teresa Kogut. I'm doing this one, Our Trust, with my friend Pam. We were texting some last night and this morning. She's a little ahead of me, but not much. I don't know if I'll catch her, but this is where I am. My house is done, my dog is done, my sheep is done, my flower is done, and I've started on the flag, but whew, that flag, it's got a lot of little stitches in it. So I have one more white stripe, and then I have to fill in my red, and then there's a chicken, a flower, a saying, and some stars. So But I'm very happy with this one. I have enjoyed stitching on the 36. And I will continue to do some pieces on 36, definitely. My next piece, this might be, I think I talked about this in the last video, but I don't think I had started it yet. This is my new Sunday stitch, Though He Seemeth Sleeping by Lucy Beam. And this is obviously the original on the picture. And I talked about, I decided to do this in DMC. And I showed you the picture on Instagram where someone had done it on some gray fabric. And I did look for that gray fabric. And I think I said that too because I showed the fabric in the last video. But I couldn't find the exact gray. But I did start it. Here's my colors, which are just so pretty. Here's my little blingy. It's the arc. And this is where I am. So I've got some of the border. I kind of did the first little rows, and I'm just cheating a little bit because I really want to come down and get the main verse stitched in. But I hit a little snag right here because this color for this row, I don't have that color yet. But it should be here today. I ordered it. Because that's what I do. I order things. So it should be here today. So I'll work on that one tomorrow. And I have been the last like Sunday stitch, or the piece that I was using as Sunday stitch. I also worked on Wednesday nights because that's church night for us too. This one, I don't know how it will be away from my good lighting. So I'll have to kind of see about that. I did pull my pieces for this month's Whip Go, and I'm trying to get accustomed to Whip Go because it's messing with me a little bit because it's not beginning of the month or the end of the month. They call the numbers a little bit in. I didn't really do any research, so I'm just babbling about things I don't know anything about. But there were 3 numbers called for this next time. The first number that was called was my Lincoln's Eagle. I had it on Whip Go and I had it as a focus piece, not realizing that I would actually finish it when it was my focus piece, or maybe right after it was my focus piece. So that one's done. So that leaves me to, which is Little House Needleworks, Hands to Work. This is not a big chart. Like, I don't know why this is just sat and sat and sat. I literally worked on it during a mania, and I feel like it had to just be one day, and I have not touched it since. So, hands to. And this is on a 28 count Monaco. But it's not, it has some little sheep in it. I didn't look. I don't know if that's over 1. I don't know if Little House does over 1 stitching, but either way, I mean, isn't that adorable? I need to get that done. So this will get an hour per my rules for myself of WIPCO. But I imagine I will probably work on it more than that. My next WIPCO piece was called, and I do not have a picture of this to show you, and I'm so sorry that I was not prepared and didn't just print off pictures of these two, because I hate when I'm watching a floss tube and they do that and they're like, I don't have a picture to show you, and then they just have a little bee start, so I have no idea what it looks like. But here I am doing the same thing. But this is the Serendipity cross stitch that Fat Quarter Shop hosted, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe, for their Make-A-Wish campaign. I've had this out a couple times. I love all the colors. It's I think it's mostly Weeks Dye Works. I didn't pull them out because they're not on a ring and they're really messy. I've had it out a couple times. I don't know why I'm not any further in this. So that'll get at least an hour, maybe more. And you know, it depends. It's sometimes it's not a matter of I don't like the piece. It's just that I physically do not have enough time. You know, I've said before, I work. I have another hobby. I have a family. I have dogs. You know, I do have a life. I do actually do other stuff besides stitch and sew. Not a lot, but I do have other stuff, you know. I do let my family see me sometimes. So that's my 2 whip go pieces for the coming month. My next focus piece that was drawn, and this again is from the website or the Facebook group American Patchwork and Quilting UFO Challenge. I use their number system. I use it for multiple things, and I've talked about all that before, so I'm not going to go back into it. But this is the piece that was drawn. Plum Street Sampler, the Milk and Cream Company. So I love Plum Street. This one was on my UFO list last year. I got really, really far. And then I was like, I'll just work on that here and there and finish it. I didn't. But here it is. I did change the colors of her dress to make them not Christmassy. I love these cows. Like, I don't like cows. They scare me. Like, in real life, which is a whole nother story. But if they had quilt blocks on them, they wouldn't be so scary now, would they? So what I have left to do on this one is finish filling in the green right here. And then I have the word box at the bottom. Ooh, my hand's shaky. I have the word box at the bottom. And then that one will be done. So I feel like because this is my focus whip, it should not, full disclosure, should not take me all month to get this one finished. I should have a finish on this one, I would think, before the end of the month, which will leave me time to maybe put a little more time in my whip go pieces. I have a couple things that I want to start that I'm not going to show yet until I actually start them, because I showed Liberty in the last video that I wanted to start and I didn't get to it. So that's still one that I want to start. We'll see. I do want to say, just because I was digging out some of these pieces that I haven't touched in a while, and some of I don't have enough project bags for as many starts as I have going, or kitted things that I have going, so some of them are doubled up, which I have to get that rectified with some project bags. But when I was going through, I found a pattern that I'd printed off a while back, and I don't know a lot about this company. It's Awesome Pattern Studio. I hope it's not anything. I want to say I bought it off Etsy, so I know sometimes those can be a little questionable. So I hope they're not. I'm not endorsing anybody bad or anything, but look, this looks like our husky Yumi. So I ran across that and I was like, oh. I also have from them a sloth and a doxy. So I think I gave the doxy pattern to my daughter. I don't know if she'll do it or not, but I really like those. And I have seen some people stitching some stuff from them. So again, it's Awesome Pattern Studio. Hope they're on the up and up. I try to not like say anything super bad about any companies, or not like super good unless I absolutely know a lot about them. So I don't know if I should have brought that up or not, but it's pretty. July Crossstitch Camp. The challenge is to stitch something that grows. So as soon as she said that, again, I don't want to necessarily buy something for these challenges. I will have to buy something for next month, because it's, you know, try something new. But I have tried to pull something from my stash that I wanted to do that falls into that category. So I have 2 choices, and I'm not sure. I keep going back and forth between them. The first one, and this is the one I thought I was going to do as soon as she said it, is called Favorite Font Sampler, and it is by Plum Street. This is, I'm sure it's a older chart. I can't remember. I know I had seen somebody stitch it, and I want to say that I sent Paulette like a message or an email or something, and was like, I have got to have that. Please tell me who sells it. And I think she gave me a shop, or I don't know. I got it at Stitch and Frame in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I ordered it online, but I don't think they exist anymore. I think they're gone. But the message on it says the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, when I was in high school, and that's been a little bit ago, so if you're a youngin', you might not have had this in school. And if you're my age or older, you might have done this in school. I don't know. I always thought it was something that just my teacher made up, but now it's on a cross stitch, so other people have seen it too. But ours was worded a little different, but this phrase has every letter of the alphabet in it. So we used to have to write this when we were learning cursive. We had to write it every night X amount of times so that we would practice our lettering. And it says the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now ours that we wrote was the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. So it's a little bit different, but it's still the same concept. It has the whole alphabet in it. But at the bottom you can see there's the fox, and he's jumping over the dog. So I just think that's super cute. So I'm leaning a little more towards this one just because I've had it for so long. And it shouldn't take, I mean, you see it's not very much stitching. I could actually probably finish this one. It is 132 by 60. So it's super cute. So maybe that one. Or this is also one I've wanted to do for quite a while. Charlotte Murdoch 1815 by the Scarlet House. Put my hand off of it so you can see. Every time somebody shows this in a floss tube, I'm like, oh, where's mine? I gotta go get it out. It is 70 by 86, so it's little. The model used a 36 count, and it says it finished at 3.88 by 4.77. But that's cute. So I don't know. You know, and should I probably start both of them? Just have them started? Maybe. But, you know, I have so much stuff started right now that I don't know if I should go crazy with that or not. But we'll see. But if you've stitched either one of these, let me know what your thoughts are, or which one you would pick. I do appreciate everyone voting off my last video for my back to school piece. There are 3 of my contenders that have gotten attention from the vote. So I want to make a decision, you know, in enough time that I can gather the floss and everything, because they are all big pieces. So just depending on what kind of floss I use, if it's an overdyed, you know, it could get a little costly. So I want to start buying a little bit at a time and not just have this one big giant order, which would be just awesome to get that in the mail. But we'll see. So as far as purchases for cross stitch, I've only bought a couple things. I bought this magazine, just cross stitch. I do not normally buy cross stitch magazines. Back in the day when I was originally into cross stitch, I had like subscriptions to 4 different magazines. I had just a slew of magazines. I mean a slew. And I got rid of all of them. Which now, does that hurt my feelings a little bit? Yes, it does. But I really thought at the time that I wasn't gonna do any more cross stitch. Sorry, I'm trying to find the pattern I bought this for. But I saw this one on social media somewhere. Someone had posted it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna need that. So again, this is the cover. This is out right now on newsstands. And this is the piece. Grand Old Black. I know there's been, you know, similar pieces, but I really like that. So it called for some This one calls for like really bright colors, and I'm not going to do it on black. I'm going to do it like on a coffee tea dyed or a beigey kind of fabric. So I went over, I bought this at Joann's, so I went over to see what floss they had, and they didn't have hardly any floss. So I just picked a red, white, and blue that I liked, that wasn't so bright. I don't think this is the colors. Let me not tell you a story. The blue is the color 930. The red is not. I got 816. And then for the white, I got B5200 because I love that white. I think they called for 3865, but I really like B5200. So I don't know if I get that one done this year. I mean, it's little, but you know, if you start 100 little things, you're not going to get 100 done in a month. So, and then I'm so excited about this. I really should stay off social media. It would save me a lot of money, but I can't help it. It's fun. And I have to say, I do not get into the drama of social media. You'll see if you follow me on my social media accounts, I don't put anything negative on there. My personal one, I hardly ever post anything anymore. My cross stitch and my quilting Instagrams, that's all that's on them is cross stitch and quilting. Once in a while a dog is in the picture, but I don't get into the drama of social media. Rant, I don't know. But I'll list my Instagram down below for those two if you're interested. But I saw this, and as soon as I saw it, I was at lunch scrolling, stopped, ordered it. This right now is an exclusive at kittenstitcher.com. Shakespeare's Peddler and Plum Street had a collaboration, and this is what they came up with: Stars and Stripes. So if you see, this one says stars down the side, and this one says stripes. This one checks all the boxes for me. It's Paulette, it's Teresa. I love all the collaborations. Like, I love it when two designers get together. It's good to see the mesh of two design styles, and it's patriotic, so I had to have it. Had to. I haven't even like looked through it to see anything, any of the details. I just knew I needed it, so I ordered it, and it came yesterday. So sometimes you just need a little something to cheer you up in the mail, and that was it. So that's not bad for my haul compared to what I normally do. I would like to really put a dent on starting some of the pieces that I already own. So I'm trying to be very specific. I'm not putting myself on a limit or anything, but I'm trying to be very specific and deliberate about what I start and my rotation process. And again, because I said that, it'll be, shooting from the hip for the next 2 weeks. But that's all I have for my cross stitch version. I'm trying to not be so long. I know last time I went really long on my video, and I apologize. I know I try to keep it under an hour because I feel like I'm just babbling at that point if I go over that much. So I'm gonna go through my quilting real fast and kind of show you where I am in my quilting world. If you are not interested in quilting, I will be back in 2 weeks with another video. I would appreciate if you did like the video, if you'll give me a like down below. It does help somewhere in YouTube land with me getting more traffic to my channel. I'm not all about the numbers, but you do see that when your numbers are a lot different than somebody else that you watch, which is fine, but it does make you wonder, like, am I losing people? Am I not interesting? Which I don't know that I'm a super interesting person either, but I would like to, reach out to more people if it is something that people are interested in. So again, if you don't mind, give me a like down below. If you've been a couple times and you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would hit subscribe. I'm only like, I don't know, 9 people away from hitting 600, which would be just awesome. I would be so excited about that. If you are subscribed, thank you very much. I am so appreciative. If you are not subscribed, if you would just go down below the video, hit the subscribe button, and then it will give you like a little option for the bells, and you can click to be notified every time I post a video. But if you're not into the subscribing thing, I'll be back in 2 weeks. You can always come back and find me. All right, so on to quilting. Now, I did not do as good in keeping my haul to a minimum in quilting as I did in cross stitch. But it's for a good reason, because last Friday, I took Friday off. Me and my daughter went and met 2 of my quilty friends. We had lunch and we went over to the pineapple fabric sale. So I'm about 35 minutes or so from Pineapple. So it's a good little trip. It's not too far. We normally go down. There's a Dario right there close to it. We go to Dario and eat lunch. Go over, do some fabric shopping. Then we hit Dario on the way back for like a milkshake or some ice cream. So it works out really good. It's a good little trip. So since my daughter, she was going Friday evening, she drives to I'm just a blank. She drives to stay the night so that she can report for her weekend the next morning. So she was like, I can come meet you for lunch, and that'll give me plenty of time to drive up there. You know, I'll get there in plenty of time tonight. So she did that, and it was really nice because she hears me talking about my quilting buddies, but she's met a couple of them, but not a lot of them. So we went over there. They had a big sale. One of my other friends, Paula, she works there. So I got to see Paula, so that was nice. We did some shopping. I took a list with me. I bought nothing that was on my list, and I bought a bunch of stuff that was not on my list. But this was like their one sale, and then I think they're closed until September 14th. So if you missed the sale, September 14th, they're saying there's a grand reopening. Oh, and it also says you can get store updates. So if you're local and you're interested in that, or if you're coming in, there's the information. So you can get updates about the shop. All right, so I'm going to show you what I bought from there. I did buy, I don't even know what this is, fat quarter? No, half yard. I bought a half yard cut, not because I needed it, but because I thought it would fit. It would blend in with the quilt that I'm making for my niece for her wedding. It doesn't, so that's okay. So that just means it's for stash. I bought, they have these salvage edge scraps. So I bought these. So this one is like, and I guess it's when they cut, I assume it's like when they cut jelly rolls or layer cakes or whatever, when they do pre-cuts, then they wind up with this little bit of selvage. So I bought a green bundle and like this is creams with like a touch of some blues in it. So I bought those. I do have a red one that I bought sometime last year that was there, so I might combine these two because I'm sure I have enough patterns and some little mini quilt books that I could do some Christmassy. I do know there is one, it's either a courthouse steps or a log cabin that's in one of Laundry Basket Quilts books. That would be cute. Because, you know, I'm all caught up on all my quilts. I don't have anything going on. Nothing working. They also had some patterns on sale. So I got Hollow Star by Krista Moser. She's really good. Like, I like her patterns and her thought process and how she does stuff. This one does take a specialty ruler, which is another thing this week. Like, if you are that person that goes to a store, buy something or pick up something that you think is full price, and you get to the register and it's like 85% off, I am the counterbalance of that. I will go and pick something up off of the clearance rack that says it's $3, and I will get to the register and they'll say, I'm sorry, ma'am, this shouldn't have been on clearance. It's like, you know, $65. I am the counterbalance of all of that. This ruler that goes with this, I thought that I could get on sale because there was a website that was having a sale. So I didn't buy the ruler when I was there at Pineapple. I get home, I ordered the ruler. It did not come up on sale because these rulers can't be discounted. So I was a little bummed about that. And again, not that I would have started this right away. And I ordered it. It's coming today, so it's fine. But that's just how my week's gone. It's just exactly how my week's gone. But anyway, Hollow Star. And this would be pretty in any colors. I mean, of course, I do like the red, white, and blue. But you could do this all in shades of blue or shades of green or, you know, shades of orange if you like orange, and it would really be pretty. And I do also already own, this takes it's the 60-degree diamond ruler by Creative Grids. So I have that one coming today, but I also own the mini of the 60-degree ruler. So I thought that would be cute to do in a smaller version too. So I haven't looked real close at the pattern to see if I can do that, but that was 50% off, so that was fun. This one is Veiled Suggestion. Oh, I got my eyes twitching. This is by Angela Pingel, P-I-N-G-E-L Designs. I have not heard of her, but that is super cute. And one of my friends, Renee, she got this there also. And she's like super fast, so we'll go to camp next time. She'll probably like, look, got it all done. But I thought that was neat. It is, I do think it would be, I bought it because I think that I could use a lot of my batik scraps, but I have to tell you right now, I'm just not feeling my batiks. My batik projects I have set to the side I need a little break from those, and I'll come back to them, so I'm not going to start this right away. And then this one and the Rockets Red Glare Home Pattern Series, designed by Brooke Stampersky or Stampersky. My daughter picked that one out, so that fits right in my things that I love. And they did give us some free patterns. These were in my bag when I got home. Catwalk, Cherish, and Freedom. So that was nice. Okay. Also, while we were there, they have a fabric by the pound sale. Or they do on like the sale weekends, and they had it during the sale. So I wasn't even going to look because I didn't need that, but I looked. So I have this print, little clothespins. It was right next to the clothes hangers, which was right next to the ironing boards, which was right next to the socks, which was next to the irons. So that's five cuts. So I thought I do somewhere have a take 5 pattern that I'm sure this will look super cute in, and I have several other patterns that I could use these in. Did I need that? No, but you know, it was fun. You're out shopping with your friends. I had a little bit of money, so I spent it. My daughter she has asked me, and I'm a terrible mother because I have not done it. She has asked me to make her an apron. I have like 15 apron patterns. I have bookcases full of fabric. Hadn't made her an apron yet. So when we were there, we found this print. So she picked that out for her apron. So I'm going to try to get that done for her. And she loves yellow. We originally had some cookie fabric picked out, but we saw this and she was like, oh yeah, like she loves that mustard yellow color. And then I got this. This was also in the Fabric by the Yard. I thought that was cute. I'm going to try to work on my bag making skills, project bag making skills. I got a couple started, but I have an idea about how to do something that might make my life a little easier. So if I do, that'll make cute bag. And I have a lot of fabric with like the farm housey kind of scene. So I would definitely use that. And then we were at the end of our shopping adventure, and they had several tables set up through the store so that you could lay your fabric out and, you know, see and match and see what you could find that you love. So I was over there talking to my friends while they were like loading their stuff, and I just happened to see some fabric out of the corner of my eye. So I got this, which is not at all something that would normally catch my eye, but for some reason it did. So black and white, so everything on here is primarily black and white. And they had several different colors. Like they had green that had all green things, blue that had all blue. I think they had a purple maybe. But I thought that was kind of neat. So again, I don't know, project bag, apron, random quilt, I don't know. And then my daughter laughed at me because I picked this one out. She was like, oh, you have so turned into your mother. But look, I mean, how darling is that? And in reality, I probably should have bought more of this and given some to my mom, because when she comes to visit next time and she sees that, she's going to be like, oh. So, but that was my pineapple haul. And then I did get a couple things from Fat Quarter Shop. Yesterday, I got my mini charm pack club. I have so many of these, and I need to like stop the club. I really do. I need to like stop, but they're just so cute. Now, I will say my plan was that because they tell you, if you click into the site, it will tell you what collections you're getting. And my plan was to keep an eye on that, because I was going to opt out of it for the month that they sent Halloween, because I don't do Halloween, but I missed it. So I did get one Halloween. It's Halloween, which some of them are just prints. So I can pull some of them out of there and do. If not, I'll take it to camp and somebody, I'm sure, will love it. I got Christmas Eve by Layla Boutique. So that's cute. And these Christmas ones, I would definitely make project bags out of these. Reindeer Games by Me and My Sister Designs. I love Me and My Sister. That's cute. And then Rustic Gatherings, which this is all like fall colors, but I don't think anything in it is Halloween. So, Rustic Gatherings. And this is similar to her, like the blue and the red that she had done, that I love, but I'm going to try to refrain from buying up all the rustic like I did on the other ones. And then there was a flash sale. So I got this. It's a black and white layer cake it's My Mind's Eye by Riley Blake, and I won't try to say the name of that fabric line. But you can see this is the prints that are in it. I thought that would be neat to do, you know, something black and white. I don't think I have one or two just black and white, but not like a ton. And they're just classic, because, you know, they kind of go with everything. And then I did buy 3. These weren't on flash sale. Oh, it was they had like a couple days where they had some things like 60% off or something for their 20-year anniversary, 25 years, something like that. So I bought 3 of the basic gray date night mini charm packs, because, you know, I don't have any charm packs, any mini charm packs, but I bought 3 of them because I want to do that pattern, that free pattern that uses these 3 that I talked about a couple of videos ago. And I also have 3 laying up here of 3 different lines, but they kind of go together. So I'm going to make that quilt a couple times. And I thought that would be a nice like weekend project, because it's little, it's tiny, so you could do it all in a weekend and feel like you accomplished something, because sometimes you just need that. And then also in that sale, there was a jelly roll with the colors I love. And this is Minikin Simpson, right? Yeah. Minikin Simpson is Isabella, yes. And again, so got that one. They did show a little, there was like a sneak peek reel or something Fat Quarter Shop did of the Jelly Roll book that they are publishing. I think that's supposed to be out maybe not till December. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna put it in my Jelly Roll stash because my Jelly Roll shelf, it's about full. It's not gonna hold too many more Jelly Rolls, so I need to get some Jelly Roll quilts busted out, which shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I did actually do some actual sewing in my quilting world. I didn't just buy stuff this time. So I feel like that's been my quilting portion. Let me show you what I bought, but I didn't sew anything. I did start my Tula Nova. Now, I don't have all the fabric collected yet, but I'm just going to like buy as I go, as I add to see. So I wound up doing a little bit brighter colorway than what I had initially had in mind, just because I wanted to start. So I grabbed what blues I had available in my sewing room. So this is my first, I still got to put this piece on. But this is my center. This is my start. And I have to say, like, I'm pleased with how it's looking so far. I do, you know, you can see some of my thread up here. But I haven't bought, I need to buy like some blues and reds to use for threads to use for there. But I am very happy so far with how this turned out. So it will just be, you know, just work on it as I go. I do like it because since it is English paper piecing, it travels well. So like these two and these two I did during 2 lunch hours. No. Yeah, during 2 lunch hours at work. And I feel like as I'm doing, like, I'm getting faster with my stitching. You know, because it takes a little bit. I haven't done any English paper piecing in a little bit. So, but that is my start of Tula Nova. So my next row that comes around is all, let me not tell a story. Yeah, it's all hexagons that come around this next inside row. And they will be in reds, is my plan. So I pulled a couple of the reds that I have. And I haven't quite decided which way, because I have 2 different shades of red that don't really go together. So I can't use both of them, but I can't decide which one I want to use, if that makes sense. I did also cut out one of my Barn Star sampler blocks, and I started to sew it together the other night, and I couldn't get it finished, so I'll have that to show you next time. I don't want to show it to you in pieces because it doesn't look like anything but fabric. But I did, very exciting, I did sew my first swoon block. So I am doing swoon 16, and I've been talking about this for a while. The fabric has traveled to quilt camp with me several times. I finally got it all cut out. I finally did the first block. Now, when I took that day off work last Friday to go meet friends, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go meet them, get that done. I'm going to come back home, and I'm going to knock out a couple blocks. It took me 3 days to get this block done. Not because it was hard, not because it was complicated. It is a decent size block, but just life just kept happening, you know. And my family's very good about giving me quilt time, but in their mind, if I have 20 minutes, that's a big hunk of time. It's not. That's just barely enough to get started. So I wanted to take my time, make sure, you know, I wasn't rushing through it, because I love this fabric so much and I love this quilt so much, and I can't like wait to have it done. But this is the first block. And I'm super happy with how this came out. So since it's, you know, it's meant to be like semi-scrappy, so you have to, for each block, you have to pick out what this color will be, what this color will be, and what your center star will be. So after I had it all cut out, you know, I had to make stacks of everything to make sure that, like, I didn't want, you know, 2 cream prints in the same block or 2 black, you know, unless I just didn't have a choice, you know, between the mix of what I had. So, and when I bought the fabric, I had no idea this is what I was going to do with it. I just bought yardage because I like the fabric line. So I kind of laid them out and I had them on stacks. So now that everything's cut out, sorry. I'm sure that was a great view for y'all, a great view. Now that everything is cut out, I have them in plates for each block. So I can pick up a plate, take it to my sewing machine, and just sew that block. And this is something that I'm like 99% sure I got from a Bonnie Hunter mystery quilt one time. That was one of the steps, and that was a tip that she gave to use that to kind of help keep you organized. Because I don't know how much surface space y'all have in your sewing rooms, but I have very little surface space, so I'm constantly moving things, especially if I have multiple projects going on. I'm constantly moving them, trying to get space to cut or space to lay out blocks or that type thing. So that's very helpful if you have a quilt that you're working on that's similar to that. So I feel like that was a little scattered and all over the place, but I always feel like it's scattered all over the place. So it's probably on course with the rest of my videos. So again, I really do appreciate you taking the time to come. I didn't mention it in the cross stitch portion, but if you are stitching anything or sewing anything that I would love it if you would use the hashtag stitching with the nerd, and I'll list that below also, just so I can get some inspiration and some motivation seeing what y'all have done. I do, again, intend to be back in 2 weeks with an update. You know, just, again, depending on life, but the 2-week schedule has worked out pretty good for me so far. I do hope to have a couple Barn Star sampler blocks to show you. I have my niece's quilt that I had said last time is going to take priority in July because I want to have that done and not wait till the last minute for her wedding quilt. I was going to try to bind one of my quilts this week. I did not have a matching binding. I thought I would have something in my stash, but I didn't, so I'm going to have to order something. So I may have, and it's little, this one that I have picked next, so hopefully I'll have that done to show you next time. And some progress on my niece's quilt also. So till I see you in a couple weeks, hope you get lots of stuff done. Again, appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you in 2 weeks.